Hearthstone turned 7 this year, and you know what that means.
7 more years till depression. Finally, I'll find the truth. Soup?
What? It means it's time for some retrospective, and oh boy am I retrospecting with this one. Whether you're just thinking about playing Hearthstone or have been playing Hearthstone for 6 years like I have, the question remains, should you play Hearthstone? You might hear about how all these streamers are getting burnt out, or how the game's an unbalanced pay-to-win mess, or even about some other shady things that goes on behind the scenes. We'll address all those today and more, but you've got to remember, it's not just about if you should or should not play Hearthstone, but also what you would replace Hearthstone with. For example, if I didn't make Hearthstone content, I'd be happy. Hearthstone is a free-to-play game from the start. The only investment you're giving this game at the very start is your time. Already, this is a big win for Hearthstone. Sure, there are some free-to-play online card games like Shadowverse and Magic Arena, but Hearthstone was the first real online trading card game. For in-person card games, you need to buy a deck first, and then the harder part, you need to find friends to play with. With Hearthstone being completely online, it allows you to play online with anyone at any time. I know there's stuff like Dueling Book, which allows you to play against other humans, but have you ever tried Dueling Book on your phone? It sucks. Yes, I know Hearthstone's mobile has connection and running issues, but it is serviceable. Of course it's not gonna run as smoothly as the computer, it's just a phone, not Jesus. From the start, Hearthstone is a free-to-play game. But so is Malaria, so where's the catch? I've heard Hearthstone being described as free-to-play and pay to have fun. And though I don't necessarily agree with that, I see where they're coming from. Each card pack in Hearthstone will give you an average of 102.71 dust when you open it. Now that sounds like a lot, but how much would it cost to craft a legendary card? Well, unless I get really lucky and open that specific card from the pack, I'm going to have to craft it. And since it costs 1600 dust to craft one legendary card, I need to disenchant 16 packs worth of card, or 80 cards just to get that legendary card. And that's assuming I don't want to keep any of the cards I got from the pack. Let's put this in the real money. I use good old Canada money, meaning I'm irrelevant to the world, but it also means it costs $25 for me to craft that legendary. This is why people say Hearthstone is pay to win. For some other decks, the amount of dust you need is insane. Look at this 9800 dust deck. If I started with none of these cards, it would take me 95 packs and over $100 to buy this deck. Of course, you've got to consider this is probably one of the most expensive decks you can craft. You probably have a good amount of these cards already. The game gives you packs for free and all that, but it's still a lot of money. Now, does that mean you can't have fun with the game? It depends on who you are.
Yes!
Personally, I like making the best deck I can with whatever garbage I have in my collection. But other people like sushi, so I guess everyone can be wrong sometimes. The thing about most Hearthstone decks is that they're either really expensive or they can also be really bad. Of course, that doesn't mean you can't just make substitutes. But in a game where the cards you own influence how much you'll win, having the best cards is kind of important. Obviously, there are good cheap decks too, but sometimes you just want to spice up your game a bit, add some variety. Not to mention, if you really want to play one specific deck and that deck uses a legendary specific to that class, you're using 1600 dust to essentially play one deck, which you can decide if it's either good or bad. Don't get me wrong though, the gameplay is great. I'd actually say Hearthstone is the gold standard when it comes to online card games. The gameplay, UI, music, sounds, all of that, it's phenomenal. What more do you want me to say about that? The gameplay is fun. Wait. Relivable. The general principle in Hearthstone is that the more complex a card is, the higher its rarity. That's why fleas are common and rabies are legendary. The thing is, since the game is super simple at its core, the gameplay becomes unpredictable. Let's play a game. Okay, game's over. Did you read the card text on that card? Of course you didn't. Unless you did. But compare this card text to that card text. Hearthstone has a rule where in English there will be at most 4 lines of text per card. Now, this isn't necessarily good or bad, it's just a matter of perspective. It means the game is simple to play and easy to get, but it also means that the game can only be so complex at a high level. Why do you think there's so many random effects in Hearthstone? That adds complexity to the game. You know how hard it is to combo in this game, or was to combo in this game? Why do you think everyone hates the United and Stormwind meta? Combo decks exist and you can't do anything about it. And you shouldn't! The game wasn't built to have one player able to counter other players' actions in the same way trap cards in Yu-Gi-Oh can. It was meant to be a turn-based game, like chess. Imagine in chess if you could move your pieces on your opponent's turn.
Checkmate.
Sure, there were one-off cards that could disrupt your opponent's hand, but everything was based on over-the-board play. Everything I have just said is the consequence of Hearthstone's game design. In general, more complex cards are more expensive to craft, so how do we make it so common cards are decent without breaking the 4 lines of text limit? Well, let's just plop some stats on the card or give it a good simple effect. But by the time the next expansion comes out, we have to at least match that power level of the last expansion, so either more stats or a better effect comes out. But now we have a problem. The more complex and rare cards might not be as good as the common cards, so we either buff the power level of the rare cards or give a more insane effect to it. Are you starting to see the problem here? Since most of the common cards are lower cost and aggressive, while the more rare cards are spells that remove stuff, there hasn't been an equal power creep of aggressive and controlling cards. This means you'll get metas where the game lasts 6 turns, and other metas where the game starts on turn 6. You know what that means? It means the game evolves, you dumb f. I don't really care what other Hearthstone YouTubers, streamers, or the community has to say. The meta shifts, and that's okay. At its core, I think Hearthstone is one of the best card games out there in terms of accessibility, gameplay, and just having a good time. You've got a variety of game modes from single player to entirely different play modes, and I'll be honest, I don't think it's that hard to get the cards you want if you just play for a bit and have a bit of patience. You have access to a bunch of digital cards where you can play a full card game without having to spend a single dollar or carry the cards with you. All you need to play this game is a phone, an internet connection, and a lack of morals. I know I talked about it a lot earlier, but I don't really have a problem with the free-to-play issues. Personally, I don't think it costs too much to make a good Hearthstone deck. And if you're just starting out, you don't know the game well enough to even use those good cards anyways. And if you've been playing this game for a long time, you should have the golden dust to craft the cards you want anyways. Or just play Arena, you lazy sack. The game is popular, so it's not like you're going to have to wait for games for a long time. Have you seen how big this game is on Twitch? Even if you don't know how to play the game, you can watch a stream or watch some YouTube videos to learn. You're even watching the video right now on YouTube. And trust me, the Hearthstone community is very vocal about some issues. My favorite is the Hearthstone community. That's my problem, it's the Hearthstone community. Hey, I'm saying this as part of the Hearthstone community. I don't like the state of the Hearthstone community, and I never did. Let's start with the best place for arguments, Reddit. Okay, not even just Reddit, but I swear everywhere I go, I just see people bitching about this game. Blizzard, my wife just left me because I played too much of this game. I get it if people like the game so much and they want to see the best game it can be. But it's a free game, of course the packs are gonna be expensive when the game doesn't cost anything to play in the first place. They're trying to monetize the game. Server space costs money. And even if you are paying for the game, I get you. I make content for this game, but please just keep it professional. They're humans. It's okay to be upset and give them some constructive feedback, but don't start burning lamb at stake because Rogue sucks for the 5th expansion in a row. But besides that one thing with the community, I don't have that many problems with this game. It's a fun free-to-play game which sure has some money issues, but nothing too bad. So, should you still play Hearthstone coming from a Hearthstone content creator himself?
Are you insane? If you tell people to play Hearthstone and get more views, you'll make it on YouTube, you'll finally get sex! Hey, you and I are the same person, and we both know there's no sex to be had here. Secondly, I can't say without feeling guilty that you should play this game unless some changes are made. What do you know? You've made videos for less than a year. Everyone in this community makes better videos than you, streams better than you. Why would anyone listen to you? Yes, I know I don't have a lot to say in this community, but I can't let what I have to say flop like this. There is so much to be said about Hearthstone right now. The community, the devs, Blizzard in general. You? Changed the community? You got your first views off YouTube Shorts? You don't even have 1,000 subs yet. What are you gonna do out of everyone? All I'm hearing is a lot of tough talk from someone who doesn't even show their face, nonetheless show what their skin looks like. Hey, that's my decision and I can do what I want. Yeah, we'll see about that. You're always about how the Hearthstone community keeps but you're the one yourself. Let me expose you for this hypocritical little dog you are. What do you think you're doing? Oh, I thought you were actually a dog. You're joking, right?
I've made content on this game for about 9 months now, which I know is nowhere close to a lot of other streamers, but it's enough where I feel my opinion is justified here. Hearthstone is the ultimate, I've got time sort of game. So does that mean you should play it?
Well, do you have time?
I would only play this game in my spare time and definitely never spend money on it. Maybe you're talking with friends over a call or waiting for something and you have time to spare. But shouldn't I advocate for more people playing this game since I make content about it? After all, the more people I drag into this game, the more people will watch my videos, right? But this isn't just about getting more views, it's morality here. And it's also something I've wanted to talk about for a long time now. Before this video, I took a month-long hiatus where I just didn't upload for a while, and now that I'm thinking about it, I did that between this video and the last video. Oops, sorry about that. In that time, besides getting absolutely sloshed, not by alcohol, by schoolwork, I also thought a lot about why I'm making videos. I also thought about who's benefiting from me making these videos. Now, of course, you might say, oh, Chowbell, you're benefiting from these videos, you're getting paid. When I'm recording this right now, I don't have enough subscribers to get money. If anything, I'm losing money. Now, the next people you would think would benefit is newer Hearthstone players. And that's right. A lot of what I put out is geared towards newer Hearthstone players and helping them learn, and that's something I like doing. But do you know who benefits the most from this? Blizzard. I don't know how much I'm gonna say about this, but why would you support this company? Ask yourself that, and I'll explain more in a later video. I like this game, I really do, but you should only play it periodically. Let's link this back to the start of the video. What are you going to do to replace the time you spent in Hearthstone? I, for one, don't know what's best for me, the community, or you. It's not an easy question to answer, but my goal is to help you understand the unseen struggles of Hearthstone players and content creators in my next series of videos. I'm pretty sure a video I've planned is going to get me censored, so if you want to know why Hearthstone streamers hate Hearthstone, how Blizzard makes money from Hearthstone, and how Hearthstone holds back its content creators from making the best content for you, you should subscribe. And if you really like what you see, please check out my Patreon where you can help me get content out faster and some exclusive perks. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you around.